Hello, amazing parents, and welcome back to the Parent Playbook, your go-to podcast for early learning and parenting tips. I'm Yusuf, your parenting guide.
And I'm Ameen, a curious dad who's learning alongside you. Thank you for joining us for episode 2. Today we're diving into a topic that's close to every parent's heart, the role we play in shaping our child's future.
That's right, Ameen. Whether we realize it or not, every word we say, every story we share, and even the way we handle challenges are teaching our kids something important. No pressure, though, parents.
Yeah, no pressure at all. But seriously, it's a fascinating topic. We're going to explore how you as parents can become your child's first and best role model. Let's get started.
Let's kick things off with this. Kids are like little sponges, soaking up everything around them. That's why the phrase, actions speak louder than words, couldn't be more true in parenting.
Absolutely. I remember catching myself one day saying, "Don't shout," to my daughter while I was shouting. It was such an eye-opener. Kids don't just listen, they watch too.
That's such a relatable story. If we want our kids to be kind, curious, and resilient, we need to model those behaviors ourselves. For example, if you make reading a part of your daily routine, your child is more likely to develop a love for books.
That's so true. In our house, we have a no phones during dinner rule. At first, it was tough for me, but now my daughter reminds me if I even glance at my phone. It's amazing how quickly they pick up on habits, good or bad.
Exactly. And it's not just about big habits. Even small everyday actions like saying thank you or handling mistakes calmly can have a lasting impact. You're setting the tone for how they'll behave in the future.
So parents listening in, here's your first takeaway. Think about one positive habit you want your child to develop and start modeling it yourself. Remember, it's the little things that add up over time. Okay, Yusuf, let's talk about creating a learning environment at home. What does that even mean? Does it involve fancy setups?
Not at all, Ameen. A learning environment isn't about turning your home into a classroom. It's about making everyday moments opportunities for learning. For example, a trip to the grocery store can become a math lesson. You can ask your child to count apples or compare prices. I love that. It reminds me of how I recently taught my daughter about shapes while building with her toy blocks. She didn't even realize she was learning. She just thought we were playing. That's the beauty of it, Ameen. Kids learn best when it's fun and interactive. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Something as simple as letting them help with cooking can teach them math, science, and even patience.
Patience. Now that's a big one. Speaking of cooking, my daughter loves to mix ingredients, and I've started asking her questions like, what do you think will happen when we add water to the flour? She gets so excited to see the results.
Exactly. And here's another tip. Create a dedicated space for learning. It doesn't need to be fancy, just a cozy corner with books, art supplies, or puzzles. Having a space where your child feels encouraged to explore can make a huge difference. That's a great idea. Parents, if you don't have a dedicated space yet, don't worry. Start small. A comfy chair with a stack of books is more than enough to spark your child's curiosity. And remember, creating a learning environment is as much about the atmosphere as it is about the space. Celebrate curiosity, ask open-ended questions, and let your child take the lead sometimes. All right, let's touch on something that's not always easy. Challenges. Ameen, how do you handle it when your daughter gets frustrated
Honestly,
while trying
it's
to learn
tough.
something new?
Sometimes I want to step in and fix it for her, but I've realized that letting her struggle a little while offering encouragement teaches her resilience.
Exactly. Challenges are a part of learning. And as parents, our role is to guide, not solve. For example, if your child can't figure out a puzzle, instead of saying, "Here, let me do it," try saying, "What if we start with the corners?" That way you're teaching problem solving.
That's such a great approach. It not only builds confidence, but also helps them realize they're capable of overcoming obstacles. I found that celebrating small wins, like when my daughter finally finishes a tricky puzzle, motivates her to keep going.
Absolutely. And parents, remember, it's okay to let your child fail sometimes. Failure is a powerful teacher, as long as you're there to support and encourage them afterward.
Here's a thought for everyone listening. The next time your child faces a challenge, ask yourself, how can I help them learn from this experience? It's a game changer.
Before we wrap up, let's give our listeners a sneak peek of what's coming up in episode 3.
Next week, we're diving into one of my favorite topics, storytelling. We'll explore how to use stories to ignite your child's imagination, build their vocabulary, and even teach life lessons.
I'm so excited for that one. And parents, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe to OrKid Edutainment YouTube channel so you don't miss out. Also, follow us on Instagram and Facebook for daily tips and activities. Thanks for joining us today, parents. Remember, every small action you take has a big impact on your child's future.
That's right. Keep inspiring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep having fun along the way. We'll see you next week.